Happy Thursday, everybody. I am headed to a meeting at the Chamber about Leadership Fairbanks. I forgot my backpack in the car. All right, headed into a Leadership Fairbanks meeting at the Chamber, and I am super stoked. This is going to be a great session. I learned a lot last year, and I feel like there are a lot of really cool ideas that are gonna make this session amazing. This is gonna be so good. So good. I think it's time to do something that really scares me. I just had a meeting at the Chamber office about preparing to facilitate Leadership Fairbanks again here in just a few weeks. And it got me thinking about 4 years ago when I applied to Leadership Fairbanks. I was in the class of 2012, 2013, and I was so scared to submit that application. I remember it was like a big deal. I felt like I was too old. I felt like I was not accomplished enough and that I was just going to get rejected. And up to this point in my life, I hadn't done many things that were going to net me rejection, where there was a lot of risk of being told no. And that was scary, but I was kind of compelled to do it. I felt like it was a great opportunity and I needed to try. So I found enough people who convinced me that I should do it to do it. And I got in. I think the fear of rejection is such a nefarious thing because generally speaking, we believe that the outcome is going to be far worse than it really will be, and we have a disproportionate understanding of the risk versus the reward. The fear of rejection can be so intense that we don't understand how small the cost really is if we get rejected and how much we stand to gain if we don't get rejected. And that time in my life, 2011, 2012, I did two things that scared me to death, but that were just life-changing, work-changing kind of things. One of those was launching Thanks Fairbanks in 2011, and the other was applying to Leadership Fairbanks in 2012. And the interesting thing, though, is that those two scary things, I can trace lines directly from those things to so many cool things that I've gotten to do since, like speaking at TEDx. We won a handful of small business awards, got to spend time one-on-one with Simon Sinek and Seth Godin. These are things that just wouldn't have happened if I hadn't convinced myself it was a good idea to take the risk of being rejected. At the end of 2011, I actually made a list. I call the list 5 years, probably less. And I made a list of maybe a dozen things that I wanted to be true in 5 years, probably less. It's a pretty clever name, right? And I didn't want to do things that seemed reasonable. I wanted to do things that seemed unreasonable, things that seemed terrifying to me in the moment. Like if I read this out loud to another person, they would just laugh at me. That's the kind of things that I wanted to write down. And I hadn't thought about this list in quite a while, and I came across it the other day and just started checking stuff off. Because even without having referenced it on a daily or weekly basis, I was moving closer and closer to those things. Things that at this point, that's 3 years ago, seemed ludicrous 3 years ago. 80% of that list, I've done it. Anyway, the point is this. I feel like it's been a while since I've done something really crazy, since I've put a goal out on the horizon that seems insane to me today. But that's where the real growth happens. That's where being challenged by things that terrify you, that's where the good stuff shows up. And so I think it's time to make a list of things that seem really crazy impossible, because if I've learned one thing in the past handful of years, it's that they aren't. Oh, it would be dumb of me not to at least say that applications for Leadership Fairbanks are open. You can go to fairbankschamber.org and I'll link to it and all that good stuff. And apply right now. If that scares you a little bit, then good. That probably is a good sign. You should definitely sign up right now. If you want to level up your game, if you want to do work that matters, if you want to challenge yourself and to be a different professional, a different leader on the other side, then this program is for you. It would be cool to hang out and to learn from one another, and I think that you should go do that right now. Like, stop watching right now and go do that.